So if you have a vehicle and you think you have a bad motor mount, I thought I'd go over the symptoms of a bad motor mount and how you go about telling if it has gone bad. And so first of all, what is an engine motor mount? Well, when an engine and a transmission is bolted to the frame, if they bolted it on there metal to metal, every single time the vehicle hit a bump or anything like this, it would jar the engine. And so to help protect the engine and help absorb some of the shocks that the engine's going to get when it's driving down the road, they bolt it to the frame with these motor mounts. And there's going to be mounts on the engine, and there's also going to be one on the transmission. And there could be different types of motor mounts, but the two main types that there is that they're going to be either solid rubber, like just one big solid rubber piece, and there's also a type that's filled with hydraulic fluid. And so while there is many different types of motor mounts, those are the two most common types. And so what would be some signs and symptoms of a bad motor mount? Well, first of all, a very common symptom is going to be vibration. You're driving down the road and there's like a weird vibration going on. You might also hear some kind of weird noise, like a thud noise or something like that. There might be like a jolt or jerking when the vehicle goes to change gears. So the vehicle's going from like first to second. And when it does, there's like a jerking type of motion. You might also get like a shudder kind of thing going on. And while this can happen when you're going forward, it's very common for the shudder to be when you go into reverse. There might also be some kind of impact noise when you're accelerating or decelerating. So you go to step on the gas and you might hear some kind of noise. And then when you're slowing down, you hear a noise again. The engine might be shaking excessively, so if it's really shaking around a lot, then that's a sign of a bad motor mount. There could be abnormal clunking noises. If it's a hydraulic type motor mount, then it might be leaking fluid. And another symptom sometimes is that it can be hard to put into gear. So you go to put it in drive or you go to put it in reverse, and it's just kind of harder to get into gear than it used to be. And this can happen because the motor shifted a little bit because that motor mount's bad and it's not locked into place correctly. And if that does happen, then the linkage going to the transmission is going to get out of alignment and it could be a little harder to put in and out of gear. And so what would be some causes of why a motor mount might fail? Well, the first reason is just age and just standard wear and tear. It's going to vary on the vehicle and the manufacturer and things like this. But if it has very high mileage, like 200,000 miles or more, then very likely they've gone bad. If the vehicle's been in accidents, this can damage the motor mounts and cause them to fail. Potholes can damage these along with other road hazards. And it can also be the way the vehicle's driven, especially if the vehicle's stopped and you accelerate really fast. This could put a strain on the motor mounts and cause them to go bad. And so how do you go about telling if a motor mount's gone bad? Well, first of all, the engine shouldn't be moving very much. It shouldn't be moving like more than 1 to 2 inches side to side. If it is moving about a lot, then it's going to be a sign that those motor mounts have failed. You can go and look at like the engine fans, the belts, and things like this, and see if any damage is going on with them, because quite often when the engine moves, it shifts about and it can cause damage to other components. You can also check to see if you can rock the engine side to side with your hands just to see how much it moves. Usually this only works when the motor mounts are really damaged, but if you do this and it's really moving around inside of there, then very likely there's a bad motor mount. And a very common method to see if the motor mount's gone bad is that you have two people. One person's watching the engine and then the other person starts the car and with the brake on, put the vehicle in gear and see if the engine moves about a lot. Because when you go to put it in drive or you go to put it in reverse, and you have the brake on and you go to step on the gas a little bit, if the vehicle has a broken motor mount, it's going to lurch up or like jump, and you can see that it's moving too much. If it's moving upwards more than like 1-2 inches, then very likely it has a bad motor mount. And so that's basically it. I just wanted to go over the symptoms of a bad motor mount and how you go about telling them if they have failed. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.